Hello everyone, I am Mecha 42, your favorite YouTube harpy. So, we are talking today about the Star Wars leaks. Now, I wasn't really gonna do a whole video on this, but then I'm like, you know what, I have to say something. Being somebody who saw Return of the Jedi in the theater as a kid, who saw these movies growing up, like, I'm older than I look, I'm an old fart. I liked Star Wars probably before a lot of Star Wars fans were even born. And, yeah, I still call Episode 4 Star Wars. I'm old school. I have to talk about these leaks, and I don't know if this is going to fix anything. This sounds like a bunch of member berries. So if you guys don't know, there's a whole bunch of Reddit leaks out there, and I'm going to kind of go through it little bit by little bit of what I believe is probably going to happen in the movie, and... Oh, well, Midnight's Edge did a great job. Shout out to Midnight's Edge for really dissecting all of these leaks, so I didn't have to put them all together myself. The big one I have to address first off is that the whole Kylo thing, where he's like, "Oh, your parents were nobody," is just a little bit of it's one of those things. Okay, it's one of those things where we know he says her parents are nobody, and I always kind of took that as, okay, he is the bad guy, right? He's the bad guy. He'll tell you something to either misdirect us, or it's going to be something where your parents were nobodies, but your grandfather was, or your grandparents were, right? It's going to be something to that extent. Now, the leak, so yeah, spoilers from this point out. The leak that we're hearing, and that I'm hearing that is probably true because we know Palpatine's back, is that Palpatine is going to be Rey's grandfather. That is the first big leak that I have to rant about. So, Palpatine being Rey's grandfather is not a surprise to me because we've had musical cues. Like, whenever you see Rey, it's a variation on the Emperor's theme. It's a variation on Palpatine's theme. You know, she uses the dark side and is not afraid of the dark side, right? So we kind of know she's got some dark side something in there. And that whole vision thing, that's clearly a vision. That's another spoiler, that's clearly a vision. We all knew that was a vision where she's in the dark robes and she's got the nutcracker saber that looks like she looks like a little girl at that clip with trying to not hit herself in the head with nunchucks. That's what it looks like. And it looks kind of like a nutcracker. And if you haven't seen my video on that, it's worth a watch. I think it's pretty funny. Also, if you guys do enjoy these, where's my thing? I gotta pop up the boop. Oh, it doesn't work. It doesn't work anymore. Oh, well, there. Share, like, subscribe, all the things. So Palpatine is going to be Rey's grandfather. He's going to have all these Star Destroyers come up, and they're going to have a little Death Star tech. You're going to have Kylo have, like, a tracking thing. Oh, God. It does not sound fun. It doesn't sound fun. We're already past the Emperor at this point. We're already past Emperor Palpatine. And anything you're gonna do to pull out all these old characters at this point is just going to be something that you should have done in the first place. Right? Because every leak I'm hearing doesn't even connect to Snoke. Snoke isn't anybody, right? Snoke is just Snoke. Snoke's just some guy, whatever. Palpatine is the big baddie behind everything now again. And then it looks like that we're going to have that be the case, and I don't care about that one anymore. I'm so frustrated with it. So I guess we gotta move on to another part of the plot. And now they Midnight's Edge laid it all out in sequential order, but I'm just kind of going with the big plot points here. I'm saving the best for last, the one that I really am gonna yell about here. So the next big thing is we've seen the C-3PO with the red eyes. That, according to these leaks, is going to be when they're supposed to reprogram C-3PO, right? They're supposed to reprogram him to either project Luke's message and everything, or he's going to be reprogrammed to be a bad guy. That seems to be likely. Although yeah, there's... it's going to be insulting if C-3PO has more screen time in this new trilogy than Luke freaking Skywalker. That is going to really annoy me. I don't really care so much about the C-3PO leak. I guess the next leak that we're getting into, or the next rumored leak that we're getting into, is that Kylo is supposed to go back to being just Ben Solo. He's going to switch back, and this is what really seems to be the case. There's a tweet out there that I believe John Boyega put out there, or somebody, not too long ago, where they're saying, it was an interview or something, where they're saying, yes, here we go. According to John Boyega, he says, the dark side, let me pull this up on screen for you guys. This is just a total rambling video. So if you don't like just total rambling videos, I'm kind of putting in the same amount of effort that I feel that Disney is putting in here. So that's the wrong display. It's this one. It's this one. Here we go. I guess Luke's bravery, Vader's also sacrifice, and the climate of the Turn of the Jedi wasn't proper enough. This is from Ruin Johnson. He's one of our good friends in the Fandom Menace. So he's quoting this right here of John Boyega saying, the dark side, it is what it is because of the law of actions and plans. To have him come back is like the greatest foe, greatest enemy. I mean, we might as well take him down properly. So this is kind of going back a little bit to the Palpatine is back and is going to be Rey's grandfather. Kylo is going to change back into Ben Solo. He's going to have a little change of heart. And this is going to tie into the very end. So I'm going to come back to this thought. Rey and Ben Solo now, not Kylo, but Ben, are going to team up. Oh, and there's more, but they're going to be part of the team that teams up to take down Palpatine at the end, right? But there's more. So it looks like we are going back to Endor. If I see dead Ewoks, I am walking out of the theater. If I see it in the theater, that is. Unless, somebody actually floats it to me some way. I would prefer to see it that way. If I end up seeing this in the theater and I see a bunch of dead Ewoks on Endor, I am not going to be happy. I had Ewoks on my roller skates in 1986. I have loved Ewoks and Star Wars, cute Star Wars, puppets in Star Wars. I've loved that Star Wars my entire life. If I see a bunch of dead Ewoks, or a bunch of dead Porgs for that matter, I was sad about the Porg that Chewie was going to eat, but I had to justify it as like, oh, thank you for subscribing. I had to justify it as he is going to, as that little Porg was the dummy that was like hopping around the lightsaber and accidentally killed himself. That's what I had to justify it as, and that Chewie was going to eat it, and they're like, no, he actually died. Don't kill my friend a Porg. So yeah, I do like Porgs. They're cute. They're cute, and I thought they were a good way to get rid of some CGI, or to get rid of the puffins, without just completely removing them, with making the world a little richer, to making it more of a Star Wars movie, right? It made the world a little richer, and it reminded me a little bit more of like, hey, I liked the cute things in Star Wars. I liked the little puppets and stuff. They weren't puppets, but, they should have been. So I can forgive the Porgs for that, because that's at the end of the day, that was probably more Star Wars than a lot of the stuff in Return of the Jedi. So we're back to Endor. That was a little bit of a tangent, sorry. On Endor, we're supposed to see Rey trained by Leia. Now, some places have said it's Force Ghost Leia, some places have said it's not, but it's going to be something where Rey is trained by Leia instead of Luke, because you can't just have Luke train her. No, you killed him off in the last one, or did you? That is the next little bit of a spoiler. By the way, is that, or the leak, is that Luke didn't actually die, that Lucasfilm left that out for Luke's hand to not drop. Because remember, his hand is robotic, right? His hand is droid tech or whatever. He doesn't have his hand anymore. So the hand didn't drop when he faded out. So he might not actually be dead. He might be, and here's where we get into the I don't know if they're going to do this or not part. He might be going off to transcend time with the ancient creatures known as the Wills, which they're more of the expanded universe stuff. They're more of the theoretical stuff where they kind of exist outside of time and are part of the Force and all that stuff. Now this stuff I'm a little less convinced that it'll be in the movie, just because they were teasing the Wills anyway. They were teasing that in Rogue One, and then they never went through with it. It's also something that I think a lot of Star Wars fans would want, so I don't know if they're going to do that. But in this leak, it suggests that Luke isn't actually dead, but he's kind of just become the Force, but he is dead, but he isn't. And there's different versions of this. And the same thing with Leia, that something happens to Leia, she gets killed, and then she comes back as this sort of Force ghost. So now here is where the final battle takes place in this, and there's a whole bunch of crap along the way that that pretty much every casting call and every leak so far that we've had about like the casting and things seems to be pretty accurate. This is the big one. You're going to have Rey and Kylo team up, well, he's Ben now, team up with Force Ghosty or not, Luke and Leia, depends on which leak you go by. They're either going to be Force Ghost Luke and Leia or not. Now, Leia, I would probably rather have her as a Force Ghost, because she would look more believable CGI if they have to do anything CGI. They still should have killed off Carrie Fisher back in, or Princess Leia when Carrie Fisher passed. They should have let that be her final battle, her final blow. She should have been, and Kylo should have been the one who pulled the trigger. Or, even if he didn't, you shouldn't have had her come back in with the Force. Because that's one of my big problems, is we never saw Leia train. We never saw that Leia is a Force user and Jedi. It was implied, but we never got to see it. And as somebody like me, you're so up my ass about Star Wars being for girls. What are you... Oh, I gotta get the writing crop on this one. What could have you done to make me love this? You could have trained Leia as an amazing Force user and said, oh, no, we're just gonna skip all that stuff. We're not gonna go through her journey of learning how to use the Force. We're not going to go through any of that in this series. No. And you know why? Because we waited 30 some odd years to do a sequel. That's why. We're not going to get the payoff of the one female character I actually give a crap about. Being a girl, growing up with Star Wars. Star Wars has always been something that's for everybody. You don't need to pander by gender. And now this, if you're going to have her just be, oh yeah, and now I can just use the Force again. That is one of the things that I don't want to see. I wanted to see Leia's discovery of that because she was already a strong character. Can you imagine her becoming a god? That is what we want. We don't want this scrawny little bitch who doesn't look like she weighs 100 pounds soaking wet, who can't even beat up anything. I don't want this girl who's gonna run head first into a lightsaber like a dumbass. If you see the posters, they're all leaning in head first like it's anime or something. Which is no problem if you like anime, but it's not Star Wars. It's not how you fight. It's just, so that's how you're dropping the ball on this one, KK. You don't understand what you already have, and you're like, oh, no, we gotta make it for girls now. We gotta make it for girls. It already was. You had a strong female character in the original trilogy. You could have used her. You could have made this more focused on your characters, your Star Wars characters, but no, we're going to just forget about them. They're just kind of side notes. And that's not how Cobra Kai did it. I hope that's not how Bill and Ted's going to do it, and I hope that's not how Ghostbusters is going to do it either, because that's the best way to make those franchises fail, too. I'm not looking forward to this. I'm really not. We are September, October, November. We're 3 months away from a Star Wars movie. We're 3 months away from a Star Wars movie. And I should be excited. I should be like, when can I buy tickets? This is the last one. This is the conclusion. And I'm not. Because Star Wars is something that I can safely say ended when Return of the Jedi ended. And then we have some prequels that were okay, but the story ended at Return of the Jedi. I don't care about Rey. I don't care about Kylo Ben. And I got another video coming on The Mandalorian, too, that I'm going to be ranting on pretty soon. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. I just had to yell about some of these leaks because... Seriously. Now, just keep this in mind. They might not be accurate. They probably are. Every time I've watched a Midnight's Edge video on, like, leaks or something, they've turned out to be accurate. Just look at their Deadpool one. I am Mecha Rant 42, and I will see you guys on the next video. Live stream. I usually live stream Thursday evenings and Tuesday afternoons sometime. Bye! Thanks for watching. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button. And if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye!